Portia says Simon, Simon's trying to be an influencer, y'all. He's trying to be a YouTube star. He's trying to be an Instagram baddie. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ty and this is RealiTea Table Talk. I'm here to share my thoughts and opinions on the latest episodes of the reality shows we all love to watch. Now, my thoughts are my thoughts and the reviews I share are from my perspective, but I can guarantee that at least a few of us are thinking the same thing while we're watching these shows. I would love to engage with each and every one of you, so please don't forget to comment down below. And if you dig this video, like, share, and subscribe. And y'all, I am back with a whole new review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 6. And I just want to give a huge thanks to all of my new subscribers. I appreciate your love, your support, and the engagement down in the comments this week. Y'all have really been telling me how you feel. Team Twirl, y'all, your voices have not been silent. I've heard you loud and clear, but I do appreciate the fact that everybody's been able to pretty much state their opinion, state their point of view, debate, and be respectful to me and the other viewers in my comments. So a huge shout out to y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. So glad to see you. With that said, y'all, pull up a seat, join me at the table, and let's get into this review. So y'all, this episode picks up 48 hours after the whole shit show that happened at the Kenya Moore hair spa grand opening that was not so grand. In the words of Cynthia, what's slower than hell? Because that's where that grand opening ended up, beneath the depths of hell. So we start off at Brit's house and she is with her husband, Mike, and they're just kind of talking about the events that took place. Brit is very emotional. She's very hurt still. She's got no makeup on. She says that she has been worn down by these ladies, and I completely understand why she feels that way. She's telling Mike that she has been receiving DMs from the Twirl team, from Team Twirl. She's received DMs and texts and emails and phone calls from damn near everybody in Atlanta. Her clients are questioning what happened, and she is at risk, she feels, for losing her insurance license. And this is her business. This is her livelihood. So this hurts not only in that way, but also she's feeling very embarrassed and feels like Kenya intentionally set out to embarrass her. She feels like all of this is very calculated on Kenya's part. And I have to agree with that. From what we've seen, Kenya had those poster boards ready to go. She had a big speech for everybody that was there at the event. And there was press there, bloggers were there. According to Brit, there were 200 plus people there with their phones out recording all of this when this went down. Now, Brit left before the first poster boards were displayed, but she was still kind of in earshot as she was walking out when Kenya started to make this announcement saying that she needed everybody's attention at the front. She needed everybody's attention on the main stage on her so she could call Brit out and put all this girl's business out there. So when Brit is talking to Mike, she does say that she was a teenager in the photos that were displayed of her giving fellatio to an ex-boyfriend. and that she was in her early 20s when she did some webcam work. She was very young. She made a mistake. Things that a lot of us do when we're that age. Not necessarily that, but we all have had poor judgment. We've made poor choices for ourselves at that age. So, y'all, going back to my hot take that I posted earlier this week or last week, I based that off of Portia's videos that she put on her YouTube channel, Portia for Real. If you haven't checked them out, go back and check them out. In one of those videos, she says that Brit was underage in those photos. And Brit, she confirms it here that she was underage. This probably lends to why Kenya was dismissed from the rest of the season and why Brit is still on. Kenya is a liability to the network. She's a liability to Bravo at this point. Brit made veiled threats towards Kenya. And I'm still going to say that they're veiled because she did not come out and directly say, Kenya, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to you. Kenya, I've got this weapon and I'm going to use it on you. She did not do any of that. I truly believe, as I stated in my last review, that Brit was hurt. She was angry. And she was just pulling anything up out of the sky to say, I've been there. A lot of us have been there. So that's what I'm going to say that was all about. But what Kenya did was directly aimed at Brit and to post photos of Brit as a minor. Now that's a whole nother set of issues for Bravo, for the network. It could have huge legal implications for the network and for the show. So it makes total sense to me now why Kenya was dismissed, why Brit is still on. And Team Twirl, I know y'all are not going to want to hear that, but I mean, it's laid out there. That's pretty much what it appears to be at this point. Mike is trying to console Brit. You know, she's crying. He's telling her, oh, I know, it's okay, it's okay. And he gives her this little church hug, this little pat on the back. I'm like, bruh, why don't you sit down next to your wife, embrace her, grab her up, hold her close, tell her, you know, it's going to be okay. I'm here to support you. Something a little bit more than what he was giving. Because to me, that little flat consolation support that he was trying to give her in that moment, it wasn't about nothing. It's like almost like he didn't really know what to say or do. But I just feel like he could have done a little bit more. So then Kelly comes over to check on her girl, number one, and to try to do something to help her feel better. So Kelly comes in with food because Brit is not wanting to leave the house at this point. She's so embarrassed. She does not want to go outside. And she, like I said, she's just worn out. She told Mike that she had not slept for 24 hours because of everything that had happened. She was still kind of trying to take it in. And she was pretty much still in shock. So Kelly is asking her how she's feeling. She's telling Kelly how she's feeling. And Kelly and Mike, they both stated that this was Kenya's grand opening. This was something that she had set up for her daughter. This is a legacy that she was wanting to leave Brooklyn and make sure that Brooklyn was financially secure in the future. And she basically ruined her own grand opening by pulling the stunt that she pulled. And y'all, you know, honestly, I wonder if Kenya would have done this if Brit had not shown up. She had everything ready to go. Mind you, she had it all set, which is why I felt this was very, very calculated. And she had every opportunity to disinvite or uninvite Brit, or even have her escorted out when she saw that she had entered the building. But she chose not to do any of that. She chose to take it lower than hell. And well, like I said in my last video, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. How does it feel? So we hear the doorbell ring, and it is Carol. Carol is an IV specialist that Kelly hired to come over and administer some fluids, some vitamins to get Brit feeling at least a little bit better than what she's feeling now. So the IV specialist comes in and says, tell me how you feel, because I'm going to mix up the things that you need in the IV to administer it to you to make you feel a whole lot better. And Brit says that she's feeling depressed, she's sad, she's dehydrated, and she's allergic to bum bitches. So Carol says, girl, I got you. I got exactly what you need for that. So she goes off to get the IVs all ready. Kelly says, I want to host something. I want to get the girls together. I'm assuming to try to sort through everything that happened and to see how they can move forward. So Carol comes back. She puts the IVs in. Mimosa is on Brit's lap, going to sleep. And she is completely unbothered. And I only wish that I could be as unbothered as Mimosa is in this moment through everything that I've been dealing with in my life, because I have been dealing with a lot. I need some of Mimosa's energy right about now. In this next scene, we are at my favorite's house. We are at Sterling Hall, y'all, with Miss Shamia. Love, love, love me some Shamia. And Sarah, Shamia's mother, is there, and I love her too. She just has a calming spirit. And the girls come over, some of the girls come over to kind of talk through what happened. So Shamia's got a chef in there cooking. They're waiting for the girls to show up. Angela shows up. Kelly shows up. And Portia shows up. And they're all kind of talking about the events that happened at this opening. It's not grand. It's just an opening. But Shamia was just completely taken aback and shocked. Kelly can't believe it because she and Kenya are becoming fast friends, and Kenya has not shown this side to Kelly. But Kelly, also when you were talking to Kenya last week in the hair spa, you were telling Kenya how you had never seen this side of Brit. So, I guess certain people can bring out the worst in us at times, and Brit appears to have that effect on Kenya. And vice versa. Angela is also just like, she appears to be floored at everything that happened. And Sarah, Mama Shamia, she sits down with the ladies and she says, listen, we have to stay true to ourselves. We have to stay true to our lives, and we cannot tear each other down. That's not what this is all about. I absolutely love her spirit. She reminds me of my great aunt Barbara, just the way that she speaks, the way that she comes in calmly and makes sense and instills some wisdom in these ladies, which is what they need. And I see where Shamia gets it from. I see where she gets her character, her demeanor, her kind heart. I see it. So going back to my hot take, Portia mentioned in her video that one of the ladies who's currently on the cast provided Kenya with some information about Brit that was used towards her at this opening. My wheels were spinning trying to figure out who it was. So I automatically crossed Cynthia out. That's a no-go. She's no way in hell. And I said, given the friend group that Shamia is associated with, and Kenya is also familiar with the same friend group, and a lot of them were at the opening, that it could have potentially been Shamia. But y'all, I have to walk that all the way back and apologize to Shamia, because absolutely not. Everything that I've seen from Shamia from the beginning speaks volumes about her character. She is a real ass woman. She is a kind soul. She goes hard for her friends. She goes hard for her family. She's just a stand-up individual. And like I said, initially, there's no way in hell that she would have done this. And I'm sticking with that. There's no way in hell that she would have done that. Now, Angela, I'm not too sure about her. I'm seeing some things from her that I'm not quite liking, but it just doesn't quite make sense. Her story does not add up. She's giving us bits and pieces of what happened with Charles and the whole separation, and that's not making sense. She feels like she and her daughter are close, and I'm seeing the furthest thing from that. And there's a lot of just holes in the story there. So that's not really making sense. And then she admitted that she was the one who wrote the question to Kenya asking if she could speak to Brit kindly and with respect. So that was a little bit messy. Her intentions may have been good. I don't know. They're kind of questionable to me at this point, but I would not put it past Angela to do something like that. Portia also mentioned that another one of the ladies, not the same one, but a different woman from this cast that's still currently on the show went behind closed doors to speak to the executives and production at Bravo to try to get Kenya fired several times. And seeing how ride or die Kelly is for Brit, especially after this first scene in this episode, I could see her trying to get Kenya fired after what she did to Brit. I could see Kelly trying to protect Brit in that way and having Brit's back in that way. So anyway, the ladies go outside and Drew, Drop It by Drew, shows up at the house. She goes, she makes her a little plate, and then she joins the rest of the ladies outside. And Portia starts telling us about her situation with Simon. And Angela asked Portia if she would be willing to get back with Simon if Simon offered the opportunity for them to work on the marriage and not divorce. The door is closed. The door is closed on that, according to Portia. She says that Simon disrespected her mother and there's no coming back from that. I guess Simon had made an insinuation that Portia's mother, Diane, assisted Portia in breaking into their marital home. And let me back that up a little bit. Over at RealiTea.com, there's an article that they put out saying that Simon stated that Portia had moved out of the marital home that she had left, and she had not been back there for a long time. When she did come back, she came with her mother, Diane, with Diane's boyfriend, and with some other person that had a weapon visible on their body and made it very visible to Simon, I guess in case Simon tried to pull anything. And according to this article, she went there twice. Portia went there twice. Simon alleged that Portia was destroying some financial documents that would support his case in the divorce. Of course, Portia is denying what Simon is alleging, and she feels that Simon completely disrespected Miss Diane. On top of that, PJ has been asking about Simon. Now, y'all, this was PJ's stepdad. This wasn't a casual relationship with Portia and Simon. They were married. So Simon, he was very much around PJ, and PJ became very accustomed to him being there. So she was used to seeing him. So Portia reached out to Simon via text and said, "Hey, PJ is asking about you." And Simon had his read receipts on. Portia saw that he read that text and he completely disregarded it. He did not pay it any mind. And that really hurt Portia because it hurt her daughter. And I mean, yeah, he presented a life to her that she says was not real. But Portia, it almost seemed like you kind of clung on to that. Like you even stopped working. You did a little bit of work on your business at home, but you stopped going into the office and working on your brand, working on your business. And I'm assuming it's because you felt like Simon had you and you would be good, maybe financially. Portia becomes very emotional. She feels deceived in this marriage and she starts crying. So Shamia automatically gets up and goes, sits next to her girl and wraps her girl up in her arms like, "I got you, sis. I got you." This is the same kind of way that Mike should have been embracing Brit in that first scene. Shamia is showing that support to Portia here, and I love seeing it. So Drew says that she feels for Portia because she's experiencing some of the same feelings and emotions in her divorce with Wreck-It Ralph. And she wants to be there for Portia, but unfortunately, Portia's not having it. And so there you go. There you have it. So now Kelly says that she wants to have a garden brunch and she'll be supplying the waffles. We know that Kelly has her waffle mix. She has her business, Nana's, and everybody loves the waffles. So maybe this will help bring the girls together. But she's asking Drew and Portia if they're in a good enough place where they would be able to share space with one another. And Portia says, "You know what? Yes, I can be a professional. I can be cordial to Drew." And if that's all it is, then that's all that it is. Portia has been on the show long enough. She knows how it works. Drew has been on the show for a few years. They know what they're doing. They know how to be professional in these settings and get the job done so that they don't lose their bag in the same type of fashion that Kenya did. We don't want to see any of that happen anymore, y'all. It's this season has been dark enough already, and I don't even think we're halfway through it. Or we're just barely halfway through it. So, all right, y'all. So in the next scene, we are at Kelly's home, and she is doing some yoga and meditation with her oldest daughter, Chloe. Chloe has been Kelly's rock with everything that she's gone through with her ex-husband. When Chloe came in and saw her mother, Kelly, on the floor in the bathroom crying, she went ahead and gathered up her little sisters and did what she needed to do for them to take care of them, while Kelly got through that moment. So after they're done with the meditation and the sound bowls, Chloe was banging with the sound bowls and the yoga. They sit down and they both start scrolling their phones. An article comes up about Kelly's ex-husband, basically talking about the allegations, the money that he owes her, the business that he wants, the restraining order, the jail time. All of this is coming out in this article. Chloe says she does not ever want to get married because of all the trauma that she's endured with her mother during this crazy relationship with this man. And this man has lost all of his marbles. This man is insane. He really, really is. Kelly says, I want us all to heal as a family. I'm trying to think of what I can do other than us going to counseling again. Maybe we can continue with the meditation. And Chloe is like, I would rather go to counseling. Next up is Drop It. Drop It by Drew. We're at Drew's house and she's getting ready to take off for the weekend. It is Ralph's weekend with the kids. And as Drew has told us before, Ralph has the kids every first, third, and fifth weekend of the month. So it's time for Drew to leave so Ralph can spend time with the kids, and she's getting the kids ready to spend the day with their father. She's getting a little baby girl ready, and this little girl, she is just so sweet and adorable. She is so freaking cute. So after she gets the little girl together, she gets the hair together, they all sit down at the breakfast table, her and all the kids, and they're having breakfast when in walks Ralph. He has been unbanished from the basement this weekend. So he's up to greet all the kids and to greet Drew. And Drew says, hey, I need to talk to you. So she pulls him over to the side and is like, yeah, I need to talk to you about this exterminator situation. I've spoken with my lawyer. The lawyer says this is your responsibility. So I need you to handle it. I need you to step up. And he says, no, that's not true. And she says, well, Ralph, yes, I spoke with the lawyer. The lawyer says this is your responsibility. And he says, well, why don't you just go ahead and take care of it? And she says, I've been paying this exterminator. But again, the lawyer is saying this falls on you. I'm just going to go ahead and go with that because I already got too much on my plate and I need some help. In his confessional, he says, Drew doesn't have anything going on. I pay all the bills. I've been taking care of the mortgage. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. You've been doing everything, Ralph, with providing your financial documents to this lawyer that you need to provide so y'all can go ahead and get this divorce wrapped up and done. That's what you haven't been doing. And if you've been paying all these bills, Ralph, then why can't you provide your financial documents to the lawyers? What's up with that? So, okay, Jan. Okay, Ralph, sure. Sure, you've been paying all the bills. So anyway, at this point, Drew was like, all right, Ralph, listen, it's your time with the kids. I've got to go. So see you later. So she and her sister Allison go out to the car. Allison had been there helping Drew pack for the weekend. So they go out to the car to leave. And when they get in, Drew was like, now Ralph has never come up from the basement before when it's time for me to leave for the weekend. He just usually waits until I leave, then he comes up to be with the kids. And Allison is like, yeah, what's up with that? Well, let me tell y'all what's up with that. Y'all are filming now. Ralph is not camera shy whatsoever, as exampled week before last in the episode where he had his little MTV Cribs montage where he had his little MTV Cribs montage in his built out basement. Okay. He is not afraid of the camera. So of course, he's not going to miss an opportunity to be on film. Are you kidding me? He's not going to miss any camera time. So Drew, Allison, boom, there you go. You're welcome. Y'all, in the next scene, we're back with my favorite, Miss Shamia. We're back with my favorite Shamia in the studio with Mr. RL, Butter Love, RL from Next. He wrote on Never Had, I'm not going to dismiss Drew. I did listen to her album. She's got some hits on it. She did her thing. She and Hot Dog Man, Dennis, they did their thing on that album. But I'm going to tell you what, one of my favorite songs from her is not on this album. It's a song that she put out, I believe in 2024 with Big Queese, called I Got 5 on It, Love Languages. Oh my God. Now, regardless of how I feel about Drew, that song is hot as hell. I love that song. I get out in my truck right after Never Had. I'm bumping I Got 5 on It, and I kind of go back and forth between the two. Cheers to you, Drew, for that hit, because that shit is off the charts. I love it. So Shamia is telling us about all the other artists that RL has worked with, has written for, and now he's working with Shamia Morton. And girl, you deserve every bit of it. I'm so happy for you and all of the success that is in your future, because baby, Never Had, #1 hit to me. So Angela comes into the studio, Miss Angela Oakley, who is married to Charles Oakley, but she seems to be fanning out over RL. And I don't blame her. RL was fine back in the day. He's still fine today. He's got his silver fox fine going on. And I'm here for it. Angela starts talking about how she was so surprised at Portia's reaction at the bank when Shamia played her song for everybody at the table. And Shamia says that she was surprised by her reaction too. She was actually disappointed that Portia continued to speak over the song while it was playing and continued to insinuate that it was not Shamia singing the song, that it was Drew, of all people. In Shamia's confessional, the producers are asking Shamia if she can sing a little bit of Never Had. Y'all, in true Shamia fashion, this woman sang the whole song. Girl, I don't blame you. Listen, take the opportunity, promote your shit, promote your song. It deserves it. You deserve it. And let these people see your vocals. Because if there's one thing Shamia is not lacking, is talent. She's also got personality. Okay, for days, which is shown here in this confessional when she's singing this song. Baby, those vocals were on point. There was not a sharp note. There was not a flat note. There were some riffs. She was doing her damn thing. And she says Drew could never hit those notes. Girl, maybe with the help of auto-tune. But girl, you got it naturally. So showcase it. Drew drops by the studio as well. And she's kind of pretty much echoing the same sentiment. She was shocked at Portia's reaction, as we all were, because this is supposed to be your ride or die. Shamia has always been Portia's biggest cheerleader through all of the obstacles and hurdles and struggles that Portia has faced. Shamia has been there. She's been the ride or die. And it's not been reciprocated. I know Shamia is disappointed. I, as a viewer, am very disappointed. I'm more disappointed for Portia, because if she doesn't get her shit together, she is going to lose not only a diehard friend, but a sister in Shamia. So then RL comes back out and he says, let me go ahead and play this song T-shirt for y'all. So y'all, on the scene, Miss Personality, Miss Shamia, She had on a t-shirt, but she had on a jacket over the t-shirt. The beat, the track, ooh, it's a vibe, y'all. It's such a vibe. It's a bedroom vibe. It's a let your man know what you want to do vibe. Girl, I cannot wait for your album to drop. In the next scene, y'all, we are back at Brit Edie's house, and she's with her mother. Her mood still seems to be down. So she tells us that she was embarrassed to have to tell her mother about the photos that were displayed of her at this opening. But she tells her mom anyway, and her mom is very supportive to Brit's surprise. So now they sit down and they're talking, and Brit says that she's also spoken with her sister, Tiara. If you can recall in previous episodes, Brit said that she was on the outs with both of her sisters. We see her kind of reconcile with one of her sisters 2 episodes ago. In this episode, she says that she's spoken with her sister, Tiara, who has her back. So she starts to get emotional in this scene as well. She starts crying, telling her mom about how hard it has been for her growing up. And her mom, she's pretty much confirming. Brit tells us that she's always been picked on. She's always come across girls that don't like her for whatever reason. They're hating on her for whatever reason. And y'all, all her life, she's had to fight. All my life, I've had to fight. But you know what? I can relate to it. I can relate to that experience. For me, it was more so being picked on because of my weight. I've always been a heavier girl. My clothes, we didn't have a lot of money, when I was growing up. My hair, people, they just picked on me for every little thing until they got me to my breaking point and I had to fight. I had to physically fight. They pushed me to that point. And it was like, you know what? I can't let these girls continue to mess with me like this. If they continue to see me just run off and cry, they're going to keep doing it. So when you come at me with the fight, I got to fight you back. And that's what I did. And the girls backed off. She also started to say something like, with all of the stuff that happened in their family, and mama was quick to be like, don't give them too much. Don't give them too much. And she sounded just like my mom in this scene. Like, give them a little bit, but don't put all your business out there. Don't put everything out there. Well, let me take a little sip here. Swirl it around. A lot of Brit's business is already out there. Literally and figuratively, it's out there. But I mean, I get the sentiment. I get what mama is saying here. Let's kind of protect the family. Let's protect what's not been put out there. So I get that. Y'all, in this next scene, Shamia and Portia meet up at what looks to be like a Dave & Buster's type of a venue. There's drinks, there's food, there's games. And they're sitting up talking about Angela and her fan. Yeah, so Shamia says this is the first time she and Portia have been able to get together in a while, just the two of them, to catch up. She's still very much hurt over Portia's reactions to her song and the way that she talked over it while it was playing. She's still very much bothered by it. But in this moment, she's chosen to just kind of let it go. She knows that Portia is still struggling and going through a lot with this divorce. So she just wants to kind of keep it light and fun. So they go in on Angela and this fan. Y'all, Angela, she's had this fan with her just about everywhere she's been, and she swears she is not in perimenopause. Now, Angela is a woman of a particular age. I am about to be 45, and at the age of 40, I went to the doctor because there were some things happening with me that just weren't feeling right. I was hot flashing like crazy. I had night sweats like crazy. And after having my hormones checked, the doctor did let me know that I was in perimenopause. And I've been going through it now for like the last 5 years. So I'm very familiar with the hot flashes and the fans. Angela, there's no shame in it, girl. I mean, look, Oprah just did a whole special on it with Holly Berry and some other people talking about it. This is real. It happens. We're women. It's going to happen to all of us. Maybe at different points in life, you know, different ages it happens, but it's going to happen, girl. You got the fan. So what? Claim it, own it, and keep it moving. Now, Shamia asked Portia about the whole Dennis Drew situation and whether or not it was cool for them to film. Portia says that she had that conversation with Dennis a month prior, as we see in this throwback scene here, saying that if Dennis filmed with Drew, it was going to be an issue. So then I guess Dennis had a conversation with Portia after that and said that he may go ahead and do it. It would be good promo for the album. Then I guess he came back and told her that he wasn't going to film with Drew. So y'all, let's flash back 8 days before, or no, 8 days after Portia explicitly told Dennis that she did not want this to happen. And we saw an episode before last where Drew and Dennis filmed. Now, if Portia is still believing in this scene at this point that Dennis and Drew had not filmed together, when she finds out, the fireworks are going to be popping. I hope it doesn't get to the point that it got to with Brit and Kenya. I hope it doesn't get to that point, but y'all, Portia, she doesn't seem like she's willing to play when it comes to her family. And given everything that she's going through with the divorce and being stressed out, she does not want any extra drama added onto her plate. So y'all, when she finds out, I'm sure we will see the volcano erupt. After they finish up with the eating and the drinking, they get up and play a little putt-putt. And Shamia says that she's got an embryo that has a 30% chance of implantation. So then she asked Portia about her embryos. Now, this was news to me. I didn't know this, but Portia had wanted to extend her family with Simon. And so they went through the whole process and they have embryos. But now, neither Simon nor Portia have mentioned the embryos when it comes to the divorce proceedings in the filings. So, and at this point, Portia, she's got enough going on. She just doesn't even wish to address it. Now, Portia says, Simon's trying to be an influencer, y'all. He's trying to be a YouTube star. He's trying to be an Instagram baddie. He's posting stuff like almost every day about what's happening in their divorce. He posted that basically he was able to put a stop to Portia filming in the marital home. So Shamia is asking about this and Portia says, I don't give a damn what Simon posts on Instagram because he's just trying to be an Instagram baddie. But when it's face to face and I'm looking in his eye and he's looking in my eyes, it's a different story. The tone is completely different. His demeanor is different. And so this is why Portia feels like he doesn't want any contact with her. He doesn't want to see her. Y'all, side note, Portia's hair, I love it. That go naked hair, girl, is going. The hair looks gorgeous in this scene, but your hair has been looking good in all of the scenes this season. It's been looking fabulous. And Shamia, of course, always looking beautiful. But Portia, that hair and those pants, I love those pants. I gotta give it to you, girl. You are looking good in this scene. Now, in this last and final scene, we are at Kelly's garden brunch. And again, she's kind of pulled all of the ladies together to rally around Brit in this whole situation that just happened. I don't know if she's out of town again or if she just completely wanted to separate herself from all of this drama. But Cynthia is not in this particular scene. Now, Portia was also invited, but Kelly calls her to find out where she's at, and Portia sounds sick as a dog. She sounds sick as hell. Who does show up is Shamia. Shamia shows up for everybody. I want her to show up for herself like this. She deserves it. She deserves to show up for herself like this. You don't have to be there for everybody all the time. You do your best to be there when you can, but do not pour everything out of your cup into someone else's and leave yours empty. Angela is also here with her fan, with her new best friend, y'all, and her non-perimenopausal self. Kelly starts telling Shamia and Angela about this article that came out with her ex-husband. And y'all, this crazy fool, he owes Kelly $10,000 in child support. And he's only made one payment. Yet he's screaming and hollering about how he wants the business. Sir, go on back to jail with that logic. Go on back to jail with that nonsense, okay? Get the hell out of here with that. The girls are continuing to chat. Angela's fanning her face. She's holding a piece of paper in one hand, fanning her face, and her fan in the other hand. Okay, non-perimenopausal Angela, you're just the hottest bitch in the room. You're not hot, literally, but literally. Oh, and Drew was there. And you know what? She did actually come in garden party attire. Usually I'm like, what the hell does Drew have on? And like almost every scene this season, I'm like, what the hell is Drew wearing? What the hell does this girl have on? But this particular scene, in this particular scene, she is dressed appropriately. I'm not saying I like the dress, but it is a garden party dress. Now Brit comes in, she's talking to all the girls, you know, saying hello, hey girl, how you doing? How you feeling? Da 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 da. Shamia's asking her how she's feeling. And Brit goes on to tell them that she's still not 100% basically. Kelly says, you know, I wanted to throw this brunch for you. I wanted us all to rally behind you and show you support. And I think most of the ladies here have had a chance to speak with Kenya and see how she feels. So, you know, now we just want to talk with you and see how you feel. Well, y'all, let me take a sip on that. Swirl it around. That was a no-go with Brit. That was the wrong thing to say in that moment. Do not mention that the other ladies have talked to Kenya and got an opportunity to see how she felt. So that just turned the whole tone of this garden party all the way the hell around and flipped it over on its head. In her confessional, she was like, why are y'all worried about the hell Kenya has going on? Didn't you see what she just did to me? And y'all are up here worried about how Kenya is feeling. You know, Brit, what I'm gonna say here is that I feel you. I do feel you. I can't say I wouldn't be hurt or a little bit upset if that had been done to me. And I'm hearing these other ladies talk about how they talked basically with my enemy about how she felt before talking to me, with the exception of Kelly, of course. At the same time, let's have some perspective here. These ladies were also friends with Kenya. These ladies do not necessarily want to take a side because at the end of the day, both of y'all were wrong in this situation. I'm gonna say she was more wrong than you were, but Brit, you gave Kenya the floor to do what she did. And I'm not saying it's right, but you did kind of leave that door open for her to go ahead and retaliate against you. So both of y'all were in the wrong. You cannot expect these ladies just to completely disregard her for you. I'm sorry. And they barely know you. Now, Kelly, she was there right after everything happened to check up on you. You have the relationship with her. Y'all have a stronger bond than you do with anybody else on the cast. So I would expect that. But for these other women, you know, Shamia and Drew, and even Portia, who's not there, they have a longer standing friendship with Kenya than they do with you. They know her more. So it's not like they went to Kenya to ask her about how she felt to hurt you. She's their friend as well. So, I mean, it sucks and it hurts. But let's kind of manage our expectations a little bit better when it comes to these ladies and their friendships with other women that you may not necessarily get along with. Whew. So now we see Brit and Angela get into it. Brit feels hurt that the other ladies checked up on Kenya before they checked up on her. And she's telling these ladies, look, I was embarrassed. My business is at stake. I'm about to lose my license with the insurance. And Angela's like, You are? Behind what? And Brit is like, behind what's being put out there on social media. Behind that, behind what Kenya just did. Brit is basically telling Angela, like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about when it comes to my business and what's happening with me. Initially, Brit said that she had lost her insurance license. So she gets to arguing with Angela. She tells Angela to read the room. The insults get to flying. They're calling each other dumb and slow and stupid. They're just going back and forth. Shami is back there out of her champagne, okay? She's saying peace is supposed to be about having some tranquility, but these bitches need tranquilizers right about now. That's the only way they're going to get some peace. So Kelly goes and asks Angela to switch seats. And Angela and her fans and her girls, they go and switch seats, and they go sit across the table from Brit now instead of sitting right next to her. So Shamia says, let me ask the questions. Brit, how did you lose your license? Brit comes out and says, well, basically, with all of the defamation and all the stuff that's been put out there about her license now was under investigation, that you don't lose it right away. And Angela is like, thought so. And Brit is like, what did you say? And Angela's like, I said, thought so. Angela says that she is a licensed mortgage loan originator. So it has to be more than just some rumors to cause a person to lose their license. She would know this is her business. So the insults get to flying again. Brit says, I wasn't done talking. Angela says, I thought you were done. Brit says, do you want to twirl on out of here? Drew says, twirl is wild, but it's appropriate, Drew. It's appropriate for this conversation. The spirit of Kenya, and it's not good, but the spirit of Kenya is at this garden brunch. Can we just, she's not on the show no more, y'all. Can we just let her be? Like, let her go. Let her go off and twirl on to hell and back to hell again. Angela says that she wants to actually be there to support it, but Brit is yapping at her as if she were mimosa. The shade is shady, but y'all, they are sitting in a garden with a bunch of plants and trees and shit around them. So it's fitting. It's fitting here, right? Drew says this is nasty work. And Brit says, yeah, it is nasty work that Kenya did, and that's why her ass is not here. So Drew says, you know, I feel like both of you all were wrong in this situation, and if you can both take accountability for what happened, then maybe we can all just kind of move on from it and start healing. Now, Drew says that, you know, this is all very unfortunate, but she does hope that things turn around for Brit and her business here. Not Drew being the voice of reason. I mean, what am I in the Twilight? Is it the Twilight Zone here? What is going on? What's going on? And I agree with Drew. Like, she's making a lot of sense here. What the hell is happening? What's happening with me? Did I have too much wine? And my favorite, doing her damn thing here, being the peacemaker. She says, listen, let's all just agree to try and see the good in people versus seeing the bad in people right offhand. Like, can I get an eye? Can we all just agree that we're going to do that? Y'all, she done put some voodoo on these women because they all agree that, yeah, we can do that. And she's actually making an impact. What can't Shamia do? What can't she do? The girl can sing. The girl can act. The girl can host. She's an excellent mother, an excellent wife, a fabulous friend. And now she's a peacemaker. Y'all, what can't this girl do? She even got these ladies together after all of this outburst and drama at this garden party. She got these ladies together to get up and dance and do a little two-step and do the electric slide. Now, you can't be mad and do the electric slide at the same time. Like, they just don't go together. They don't mesh. They do not coincide. But she was able to bring these women together to agree to see the best in each other, not the worst, not the negative, but the positives, and to get up and do a little jig. I mean, how can I get into this? How can I get in? How can I be a friend? This was actually refreshing to see at the end of an episode with these girls. The last couple of episodes was crazy, drama, dark. And this had an air of lightness to it. Now it ain't gonna last. It ain't gonna last. We're gonna see that next episode. There's gonna be some stuff. But at least for now, all seems to be a little bit more peaceful in Atlanta. Y'all, that's the end of the episode. Y'all let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this show has taken a really, really dark turn. They just came back after a year plus damn near 2-year hiatus, maybe 3 year. I don't know. They've been gone for a while. So they just came back. And already all this drama has ensued in these first few episodes. But I mean, do you think it'll take a turn for the better, or do you think it'll get darker? Do you think it'll get worse? There seems to be a lot of division, but some of the ladies still feel that Kenya should be brought back. So y'all comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of this review and the episode. Let me know if there are any other shows that you would like me to review. I'm thinking about reviewing Basketball Wives. I may go over into the TLC universe and see what's popping up over there with the 90 Day Fiance of it all and some of those other crazy shows. But let me know what other shows you would like to see me review, and I'll be more than happy to do so. Again, just thank you for your continued support of this channel and its growth. Yeah, thank you. Until next time, y'all, stay safe, stay blessed, and don't forget to tell someone that you love them today. Love y'all. Peace.